you so much for dropping back by, and welcome back to my channel for another Halloween themed video. This is Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner, and today we're going to be using some paper clips from Beebeecraft and a paper pack called Dark Fairy Tale from Die Cuts with a View to make some really cute shaker paper clip bookmarks. Excuse me. So the paper clips are measuring 4 inches. These are pretty much the biggest ones that I've ever seen. I thought that that was a really cool idea. And I'm taking a page of cut-aparts from this Die Cut with a View paper pack that I picked up last year and never did get around to using it. I'm trying to make sure that I use up some of my stash this year. So first I'm going to go ahead and cut this one apart and cut out, I believe it's, what, 4, 8, there's 12 different sayings on here. I think this is really cute, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those apart. Next I'm going to pick out a couple of these to use as the main focal point on our bookmarks. And since I'm going to make some shakers, I need to find a die to use to make the windows. So I pulled out one of my bins of different dies, and I'm looking through to see what's going to work best for it. None of these frames from Cuttlebug worked well, but I did find this frame here. I think it's going to work really good. So I die cut a bunch of those little frames, and now I'm going to start adhering some together. To create the dimension for the shaker bits to be able to move around, I'm actually going to be stacking 5 of these die cut frames that I cut from 300 GSM cardstock. So I'm going to be adhering 5 of those together along with a piece of transparency to create the shaker. The transparency sheet, I'm going to be using some some adhesive tape to hold it on a bit stronger than just regular liquid adhesive. So you'll see me putting that around. I'm using some 1/4 inch tape and burnishing it down real good so it'll stick real well. And then I'm going to put the transparency sheet on top of that. going to do the same thing on the other side of the transparency so I can put that final frame on. And I do correct myself. I think I only put four. I think I only stacked 4 of the frames. I should have stacked it a bit stronger. I did have some issues with some of the shaker bits not wanting to go together later on in the video, and I did off-screen correct that so everything works fine. But the thicker that you're able to make that, the better your little bits are going to be able to move around, and the more dimensional items you'll be able to put in, like gemstones and such. I tried doing the gemstones and they did not work out too well. So in the final shaker at the end, you'll see that those aren't there anymore. So here I'm just adding that last frame on. That's going to be covering up the glue and the transparency sheet. And then I'm grabbing one of those cut aparts to put behind it. I'm going to go ahead and use some of my powder tool because I have found that these bits that I'm using have got a lot of static, so they don't always want to move around. And I want them to be able to move around. Just that's the point of having a shaker. The sequins that I'm using are actually some that I picked up at Dollar Tree. I'm going to be using the little bitty bats for these shakers. I've picked out all of my shaker bits. I did go ahead and put some liquid adhesive on the back. This is going to be the edge that has got the dimension on it, and then place that right over all of the sequins and such that I'm putting in my shaker. So I'll press that down real good, and then just put an acrylic block on there so it can hold it down long enough for that glue to dry. I decided that the frames were a bit plain, so I'm grabbing my Wink of Stella and just putting a layer of that really nice glitter all over it. It does kind of make it look like a nice ribbon. I'm going ahead and putting that over the entire frame, so give it a lot more excuse me, it'll give it a lot of glitter and shimmer, and it's going to look so pretty once it's done. about having some trouble with one of the shakers. This is the one that I put some gemstones in, and it was just too thick. It's not moving around at all, so I wound up getting my undo out and release some of that adhesive so I can get those out, and I just filled it with some little bats. So it'll turn out okay in the end, but I did not like that. It didn't have as much. I didn't get to put all the nice pretty things in there. Now I'm going ahead and covering this frame as well with the Wink of Stella. So next I'm going to glue our little shaker frames to those paper clips, and I'm going to use a circle punch to cover the paper clip on the back so it looks nice. So I'm just using a hole punch for that, one of these big punches. I think the size was 1.5 inches, but I'm not 100% sure at this point. I just position the paper clip on the back, make sure that the end that has the two curves is going down, otherwise your paper clip will not function anymore if you glue it on backwards. And I decided I did want to sign the back of these, so I just signed them, put 2019, so I know that these were made this year, and I'm going to go ahead and put some hot glue down. One thing to make sure of is make sure that your hot glue has had time to heat up well, because when it starts cooling down, sometimes it's harder to get more of the glue to come out as quickly as you like. And when I started off, I didn't put nearly enough glue on, so so I wound up having to go back and put more on. And I may go back at some point and just redo the back just to be on the safe side. and just pull out some of my dimensional stickers that I've still got left over from when I was making some cards a couple of weeks ago. And I thought that these little spiders would be real nice and creepy and give it a little extra shine. So I'm going to add some liquid glue to the back. I'm using my art glitter glue. I'm going to add that to the foam squares on the back so that it can adhere better to the frame. So I'm adding I'm putting two of the little spiders onto each of those frames. One of them I'm putting a green spider, adding a little bit more color to that one. And that is all it takes to put together a couple of these. Use your imagination. I'm probably going to make some more that are creepier. I just thought these are just so darn pretty. Thank you again for stopping by, and please, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. That way you can always be reminded when anything new comes up. Thank you again, and have a great day.